Butterbeer season is finally here at the Universal Orlando Resort, which means we have some treats to keep an eye out for, hopefully try, and then of course there are all the delicious favorites that are here year round, and then there's all the merch. So what do you say? You want to go check it out? All right, let's go. Butterbeer season is a new addition to the lineup of offerings here at the Universal Orlando Resort. Running from now through May 31st, guests visiting the Wizarding World of Harry Potter can celebrate with exclusive merchandise and limited time treats, all featuring the delicious drink straight from the books and movies. Now look, it's no secret that Universal Orlando is packed to the brim with fun and interesting things to do, but it's Butterbeer season. So we need to make our way into the Wizarding World, no question. Today in particular, there are two things we're keeping our eyes out for. The first is a cream puff, and the second is a candy bar. And I have to be completely honest with you, I'm not entirely sure where to find either. I know that the cream puff is here and it's available in merchandise locations, which I'm not sure if that means inside the Wizarding World or out in Universal Studios. Either way, we'll figure it out. There's also supposed to be a candy bar that I heard people murmuring about, but I don't know if it's available yet or where. So let's keep our eyes open and see if we can get lucky. Now there are a lot of different places to wander around and explore here in the Wizarding World, not just here at Universal Studios, but over in Islands of Adventure as well. But since we're looking for a sweet treat, I think that the best place to start is gonna be right here at Sugar Plums. Now as a reminder, we're looking for a candy bar and a cream puff. So fingers crossed. Looks like we also have this, which I believe is for Butterbeer season. It's not just this cart, which isn't necessarily new, but it's filled with Butterbeer flavored gummies. Now I do love gummies, but I'm not gonna spend $30 on a ton of gummies and a little popcorn bucket looking thing. But I do think that that's a good deal on a bit of a souvenir for Butterbeer season. Right. So unfortunately, we were out of luck there at Sugar Plums. We did take a look in the case and they had a lot of great treats, including two Butterbeer flavored treats, the fudge and the toffee. Last year we had the toffee, it was fantastic. We kept coming back to get more. I'm not gonna get any today though. I don't really have a big bag with me or anything like that. I'll save that for some other time. The fudge is also really good. Both of those are a fantastic choice, but no cream puff and no candy bar. So what do you say? Ready to move on? Now, before we completely leave this area, I do want to point out that right here behind me at the hopping pot is where you can get another Butterbeer season exclusive treat. It's a Butterbeer ice lolly, AKA a popsicle. It's really good. We had it last year. Definitely gonna get it again this year. Of course, those aren't the only two places where you can get Butterbeer flavored treats. We also have the Fountain of Fair Fortune back here, as well as an ice cream parlor. The Fountain of Fair Fortune is actually where I got my first ever Butterbeer, and it was probably about a year ago now. Time flies, man, it's crazy. They also do have Butterbeer flavored ice cream at that ice cream shop, so perfect way to cool off, especially this time of year. It's cool in the mornings, but it does start to get warm midday, so add that to your list. So I pulled off into a dark alleyway, which is honestly something you can only ever really do safely in a theme park, and I did a little bit of research. It looks like we can get the cream puff over at the Leaky Cauldron or at Three Broomsticks, which is over at Islands of Adventure. So we're gonna pop into the Leaky Cauldron, get ourselves this cream puff, see if we can get ourselves this cream puff, and maybe get a warm Butterbeer. I mean, that seems like a great plan, right? I also like taking advantage of hot Butterbeer when I can, or taking advantage of the weather. Because you can't always enjoy a hot Butterbeer here in Florida. So when I get my chance, I'm gonna take it. All right, we got our warm Butterbeer or hot Butterbeer. We also have our cream puff, which looks really good, but it's got a lot of ooey gooey syrup on it. So I think it's probably gonna be a little bit messy. I'm glad that I have a table and cutlery. So let's see if we can get something to take a proper bite out of this. There is so much goodness. Let's see. Ooh, there is a lot of cream in here, and it feels kind of, I don't want to say dense, because if I say dense, it's going to sound like I'm saying it's hard, and that's not it, but it feels like there's a lot of goodness. So, all right, let's take a bite. That is really good. There is so much delicious butterbeer cream in here, and the sauce on top, it is so good. Definitely very sweet, because butterbeer is very sweet. I like this. Okay, but hold on. Before we take another bite, let's wash it down with some warm butterbeer. That is so good. Just a tiny sip though, because it is very hot. Despite the fact that it's been sitting here for a minute, that's perfect for a day like today. This is so good. We also have this thing on top that says butterbeer. I wonder what it tastes like. It doesn't really taste like anything. Kind of like a barely average shortbread cookie, but it makes for a cute decoration. So we wrap things up over at the Leaky Cauldron. I ate as much of that cream puff as I could. It was so good, but also so big. I feel like it's definitely shareable just because of how like rich and sweet it is. More on that here in a second. We left the Wizarding World. As you can see, we're now in one of my favorite spots to just kind of sit and chill. It's kind of quiet and out of the way, which I really like, and the music just adds to the ambiance. I am still working on my butterbeer here because, you know, it's a sip and stroll kind of drink and a sip and stroll kind of day if you ask me. But I did want to take a second and get down to brass tacks with you when it comes to that little snack that we had in the Wizarding World. So we had the butterbeer, which was $8.99. It is expensive in my opinion, but you know, it's unique. Definitely not an everyday treat, but you know, if you're a Harry Potter fan or you like the flavor of a cupcake in a cup, you gotta give it a try. Also, as a side note, I love that you can try food that they actually serve up in the films, not only here, but also over in the Minions area. We'll have to talk more about that some other time. But now let's talk a little bit about the cream puff. Now that was $6.99, which, you know what, I don't think was bad at all. Like I said, it's a lot, it's definitely shareable, and that's around the going rate for a snack anyway. Now, do I need to get it again? Not necessarily, but I do like this addition to all of the butterbeer offerings, so I mean, I say give it a shot, why not? But all right, let's take our butterbeer and head to the front of the park where we're gonna find some butterbeer merchandise. Oh yeah, it's about much more than just snacks this butterbeer season. There's a whole line of merch and we gotta check it out, so let's go. There's a little bit of something for everyone in this merch line for butterbeer season, including some small souvenirs like keychains, pins, and patches. There's also a magnet here as well as a pin. They also have some other stuff like this bag. To me, this feels a little bit too much like a puffer jacket, but if you packed it full, it would probably look like a barrel of butterbeer. I do like the interior lining on this. It is just too cute. Of course, we also have hoodies, t-shirts, flannels. This flannel really caught my eye. I do love the color, and Universal's been coming out with one of these for like every season. So, I mean, it's just a great option. We have a little bag here. This kind of looks like a Loungefly. It isn't, but it's very similar, not as expensive as a Loungefly, so definitely worth checking out. And if you have a little bit of Harry Potter magic all around your house, maybe these tea towels are for you. I think they're pretty cute. We also have this hat, which has a lot of great detail. So of course there's the patch, which we're seeing featured on all of the merchandise, and then there is this like emblem on the side. The back has a little butterbeer on the clasp, and then of course the print on the inside of the bill. Socks, who doesn't love socks? It's like the perfect gift. And then we do have this tumbler, which looks like a barrel of butterbeer. I like that we have a straw, but also a regular lid for hot beverages. Speaking of hot beverages, we've got a coffee cup. This one has a lid. This would look really cute on a shelf. We also have a t-shirt here and a sign. If you want to hang that up in your house, that would go great with the tea towels, a little bit of Harry Potter theming. And we also have some wands. This isn't part of butterbeer season, but it did come out recently, so I popped on over to take a look. This is the next generation of wands, so they're a little bit different. They like vibrate, you know, you can feel the magic. I don't know how I feel. They are kind of expensive.
Maybe we'll talk more about these some other time, but let me know your thoughts.
Now, I like Butterbeer as much as the next person. In fact, I actually really love all of the Butterbeer flavored treats that they serve up here at Universal Orlando, but I'm not enough of a fan to buy Butterbeer merchandise. I mean, some of you guys know I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, and I don't know, it's not for me. That said, there are still some really cool pieces that we saw today that even caught my attention. I really like the Butterbeer patch that comes with the pin, like that set, but also that flannel that we saw. I really loved the color, I love the design, and it's such a practical piece. I have a few of them, not only from Universal, but also I have some others, and I just love it. Even when it's super warm out, it's nice to have because it's lightweight, you can pull it on if you go into a restaurant or attraction queue, you get a little cold, you know, so I would consider that. Well, I don't know about you, but I think we had a pretty successful day. We saw all the Butterbeer merch, which was pretty cool. None of it on my list, but tell me if anything caught your eye. And then, of course, we got a chance to try that Butterbeer cream puff, which was at the Leaky Cauldron. It's also available over at 3 Broomsticks, which is at Islands of Adventure. And we got eyes on some of the other Butterbeer flavored treats. I didn't see a candy bar, but like I said, we're gonna keep our eye out and our ear to the ground just in case something pops up. There is a chance that I misread something, but there's also a chance that, like last year with the toffee, this doesn't come out until a little bit later in the season. So like I said, we'll keep an eye out for it and we'll let you know if we find it and what we think of it when we do. But hey, before I go, one more thing. If you want to enjoy some Butterbeer flavored goodness and you're not going to be here at Universal Orlando, keep an eye out in your local shops because there are some delicious Butterbeer flavored treats, including Hershey Kisses, goldfish. Yeah, they have like graham cracker goldfish that taste like Butterbeer, and even cookies. I've tried some, they're amazing, and you should try them too, especially if you can't be here. Got to celebrate from home, right? But all right, that's all for today. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I'll see you guys next time. Until then, bye.